Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we've made a team of players whose time is running out at their current clubs. Which one can revive their fortunes and which one should try a change? Let us know in the comments below. Goalkeeper, Kepa Arizabalaga. At least he's good at saving penalties, we were told. Kepa Arizabalaga's time at Chelsea has been miserable, his £72 million price tag making him an easy target from day one. But through the hard times, when his 55% save rate ranked bottom of all keepers in Europe's top 5 leagues, Blues fans could at least praise him for one thing: the Spaniards' prowess facing spot kicks, bringing them the Europa League and European Super Cup trophies, and taking them to 2 EFL Cup finals. Sadly for the 27-year-old, the second of those ended with him conceding every single penalty and missing his own, and it's hard to see how he continues at Stamford Bridge, despite a contract running to 2025. According to Transfermarkt, his value has plummeted from over £50 million to just £9 million, while he's made a single appearance for his country in the last 3 years, having earned 10 caps in the previous 3. Whether anyone will pay good money for the stopper is an open question, but frankly, a pay cut and a worse team would be better than remaining in a city where he's so despised. One of the worst signings in football history, Kepa needs a fresh start quickly. Defender, Wan-Bissaka. Having missed 7 league games in his first 2 years with Manchester United, Wan-Bissaka has nonetheless never convinced the Old Trafford faithful. Brought in to shore up the club's right side, the 24-year-old has always put up good defensive numbers, but lacks the technical quality United need, meaning he's now fallen behind Diogo Dalot and even Victor Lindelof in the fullback pecking order, just 30 months after his £50 million move. For once, United fans might have a point. Despite getting on the ball more than at Palace, AWB doesn't pass forward more often or create more chances, and the rest of his output is dropping fast. Tackles and interceptions have sunk from 6.7 in London to 5.5, then 4.8, and this term to 4.2, while he now only succeeds in 38% of challenges, down from 62%. He also dribbles less, gets dispossessed more, fouls more, and wins fewer headers, all indicating a player whose confidence has dropped through the floor. As United finally take baby steps towards a more coherent coaching and recruitment setup, Wan-Bissaka looks like the first casualty. Defender, Issa Diop. Remember when Issa Diop was going to join Manchester United for £50 million? The Frenchman's outstanding debut campaign with West Ham had the rumour mill spinning. But the next season, he was part of a defence which allowed 62 in 38 to finish 16th in the Prem, before the Irons' rise to the top 4 contention saw him sidelined, with just 15 starts last year, followed up by 9 so far in 2021-22. Getting benched at 25 for 31-year-old Craig Dawson is not a good look, but it's hard to say Diop deserves better. Over 4 years, he's gone from regaining possession 4 times a game to 2, from winning 66% of his aerial duels to 48%, and his success in the tackle has slid every season, taking the ball off a dribbler half the time 3 years ago, then 33% last term, and now just 22% of the time, second worst in the Hammers' squad behind Lanzini. The marquee signing of Zuma pushed the former Toulouse man further down the pecking order, and with the contract up in 2023, a switch could suit everyone. Perhaps injury-hit Everton would be more appreciative. Defender, Joe Gomez. Once seen as the future of England's defence, Joe Gomez is now soon to be 25, and not looking like the future of anything. It's a pity, because the centre-back is undeniably talented, playing over 2,000 minutes in Liverpool's title campaign, and overall showing a combination of defensive nous and expansive passing which would attract suitors if he weren't already at Anfield. The problem is that Gomez hasn't taken the ball off an opponent since 2020, with a kneecap issue restricting him to under 8 full games since the Reds won the league. That year, he hit a career high for passes into the final third with 6 a game, the same as Van Dijk, won possession more often than the Dutchman and matched him for blocks, and ranked second to Andy Robertson for carrying the ball forwards, making it all the more painful that he can't stay off the treatment table, with the £36 million capture of Ibrahima Konate perhaps the best indication that Jurgen Klopp has lost faith. With the Frenchman impressing so far on Merseyside and 2 years younger than Gomez, there's limited time to re-establish himself in the coach's plans. Defender, Sergio Reguilon. Our next pick may seem weird. After all, Sergio Reguilon has started 18 league games so far this season, and only 7 players in the squad have more minutes. But the Spaniard's capture was widely praised when he joined from Real Madrid in 2020, and since Antonio Conte took the reins at Spurs, he's only 11th for game time, narrowly ahead of Sessegnon and imminently replaceable. 3 goal involvements and 5 XG under the Italian would go some way to securing his place, but Reguilon's performances across the board is closer to acceptable than standout. Since leaving Spain, his defensive numbers have ticked up, but only enough to rate as statistically average for a fullback, and he continues to be a subpar passer, both in frequency and success. His athleticism is also less impressive in England, with dribbles per game halving and success rate tumbling from 58% to 38%, in the bottom 10% of fullbacks. Plus, he loses possession more often than 85% of players in his position, hardly what his grumpy boss will like to see. Reguilon is no weak link, but he's not especially strong, and the atmosphere at Spurs is poisonous. If they miss top 4, almost no one is safe. Midfielder, Morgan Sanson. If nothing else, Morgan Sanson can show us why panic buys are always a bad idea. The Frenchman joined Aston Villa for £15 million in January 2021, having spent 4 years with Marseille and having been an in-betweener in the south of France, sharing time in midfield and a number 10 role. He was signed to give the villains greater creativity from deep, something which there's no evidence of 12 months and 17 appearances on. To be fair to Sanson, injuries have ruined his first year in England, but in that time the team has already moved on from one he might have had a home in. The arrivals of Buendia and Coutinho eliminated the need for Sanson in attack, and despite excellent pressing stats, he's not a true DM, while his passing is simply not good enough to replace Ramsey or John McGinn, whose rate of 5 progressive passes a game is double Sanson's output. Unfortunately, the competition is unlikely to ease, with Villa's rumoured interest in Yves Bissouma showing boss Steven Gerrard's opinion of his options. A graceful exit is surely on the cards. Midfielder, Marc Roca. Regarded as a steal when he arrived at Bayern Munich for £8 million in 2020, Marc Roca is now 25 and remains an unknown quantity. At Espanyol, the Spaniard's massive 9 long balls and 7 passes into the final third each game saw him likened to Xabi Alonso, but after 18 months, he only has 500 league minutes for the Bavarians, his most memorable moment a red card on his Champions League debut against Red Bull Salzburg. A torn ankle ligament complicated his adaptation to Germany, but Roca has had the chance to establish himself in the Bayern lineup, with Sabitzer, Tolisso, Goretzka and Musiala all playing under 1,000 minutes this campaign. And though he's working hard to impress, chasing down opponents 25 times per 90, his passing doesn't stand out in such a talented squad, with a lower accuracy and fewer balls forward than he managed in Catalonia. Given his age and Thiago's departure, Roca should be a regular by now, and mediocrity isn't tolerated for long at the Allianz. He still has time to become great, but the window for it to happen at Bayern is closing fast. Midfielder, Corentin Tolisso. Joining teammate Roca in the midfield is Corentin Tolisso, who, as we've said, has once again put together under 1,000 minutes this season. If the year finishes that way, it'll be the Frenchman's 4th such campaign in a row, with only his first term at the Allianz producing more than 10 Bundesliga starts, a poor return on his £38 million fee, which in 2017 was a club record. Tolisso now looks set to leave on a free this summer, and a new start is probably best for everyone. In 5 years with Bayern, he's played 3,691 minutes, a tally beaten by 38 championship players last season alone, meaning he has just 18 goal involvements for the Bavarians, just 5 more than his final year at Lyon, and has won possession in a Bayern Munich shirt 95 times, fewer than Casemiro has in 24 starts this term. With 2 bouts of COVID, ankle, knee, ligament and calf injuries on his CV, it seems unlikely Tolisso will find anyone to match his £115,000 a week salary. At this point, just getting on the bench would be an achievement. Forward, Rodrygo. Running out of time at 21, it might seem that we're calling Rodrygo's Real Madrid career early, but Los Blancos are notably cutthroat, moving on Odegaard, Hakimi, Theo Hernandez and Brahim Diaz before the age of 23, and leaving Rodrygo under a year to prove he's worthy of the most famous shirt in the game. If he's got the chops, he's yet to show them, The Brazilian has been at the club for 3 years, but has made just 29 league starts, costing Real over £12,000 a minute and £1.7 million a goal. And he's on track to play less, take fewer shots, and create fewer chances this season than last. Unlike compatriot Vinicius, just 6 months his elder, he doesn't have game-changing athleticism, with 1.7 dribbles to his rival's 3.6. And his defensive work rate is decent, not outstanding, making a Lucas Vazquez-style reinvention unlikely. There is clearly a good player here, maybe even a great one, but with limited minutes and Mbappe possibly on his way, it's unlikely to emerge in Madrid. We predict a hasty sale. Forward, Timo Werner. The poster boy for the Bundesliga tax. Feel free to check out our video on that. But Timo Werner has been the opposite of a revelation since his £52 million Chelsea switch. Having scored and assisted an average of 26 league goals a year at RB Leipzig, he's on just 16 in 18 months at Chelsea, a decline which has seen his value drop from nearly 70 million to 45 million in the space of 2 years. In his homeland, Werner took or created a shot every 16 minutes, but deprived of the space he had in Germany, he now does so every 23 minutes, while his passing is down by a third too. And, like Lukaku, his lack of technical security stands out in Tuchel's press and possess system. Werner loses the ball more than 10 times per 90 and regains it half as much, and though his speed remains a threat, he can't compete physically with Premier League defenders, getting fewer touches in the box than ever before. At 26, Werner can't afford to warm the Blues bench forever, and if Dortmund's interest is real, both he and Chelsea would benefit from a hasty divorce. Forward, Anthony Martial. If Sevilla hoped Anthony Martial could reel in Real Madrid and a first title in 76 years, they must be sorely disappointed. The Frenchman has played just 180 minutes for the Spanish side so far, but in that time he's taken only 1 shot, and the team's attack are generating about 0.4 xG less per 90 when he appears than they've done without him. Now 26, Martial should be at the peak of his powers, but the Man United loanee has got worse every season since his £50 million move, falling from 0.7 xG, 2.3 dribbles and 1.8 chances created per game in his first campaign to 0.3 xG, 1.5 dribbles and 0.5 chances created this term. A starter for France at 21, he now plays only intermittently for Les Blues, and after missing their 2018 triumph, was hoping to regain his place in the side for this winter's World Cup, a dream which now looks further away than ever before. A good move could yet salvage the second half of Martial's career, but he'll need the right club and coach to restore his tarnished reputation. Having played in France, England and Spain, perhaps a 4th top league will prove lucky, and the Bundesliga or Serie A can offer a new start. So that was our squad of players who are running out of time. Do you think we were too harsh, or do you think we've missed out any other players? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more Football Daily content, then click on screen right now for more. And as always guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.